Welcome to the Good, Better, Betterness podcast. We're here to get real about what really matters, not accolades or achievement, not doing more or having it all, but stripping away the extras so that you can be more present, more grounded, more rested, and more you. We're your hosts and co-founders of Rise, Denise
and Kayla. The Good, Better, Betterness podcast is a monthly chat with and for Black women about what self-care is and how you can make it an intentional part of every single day. We share real stories with real women who are devoted to living a life rooted in better wellness and living in harmony with the world around them. Take a seat, take a breath, and explore how deep and radical self-care can transform your life.
Hey y'all! Welcome to the Good, Better, Betterness podcast. Whether you're listening or you're watching, we hope that you get something out of today's episode. I'm your co-host, Denise, and this is co-host, Kayla.
Hi!
Hey guys. And as you can see, we are not by ourselves on this couch here today. We are joined by a lot of our really, really close friends, sisters, and we love them all for showing up. Hey, say hi, ladies. Say hi to the All right, Kayla, over to you, sweetie.
All right, y'all. So we're here to talk about sisterhood at its core. These are women, and if you don't know, we pledge Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Incorporated. There you go.
Say that. Play it back.
I'll try to play it back. Yeah. So if you don't know, we pledge Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. They got my back. And Denise and I pledged in 2004, and through that experience, we have met so many other women that have truly come alongside us and lived life. We do life with these women, and we choose to do life with them. And so we're so grateful to have them here to talk with us about sisterhood and really like break down what it means, right? And how to do it well. And so thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
What are we going to do first?
All right, ladies. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a little icebreaker. Kayla's going to lead us through a little exercise. Like I said, no right or wrong answer, little icebreaker, and then we're going to get into some of the meat of the questions. But short conversation today for anybody who's listening. Like I said, hopefully you get something from this convo today. For sure. So we do a little segment here at Good, Better, Betterness called Put That Ish On. And ish means, I'm just kidding, I'm not going to say it. But we talk about products that we really love and we really think, make a difference in our lives because, products can really make a difference. And so we're going to pick should we pick like 3 or 4 people? And if anybody has a product that they love, just let us know and we'll hand you the mic.
Oh, and did we mention we're in Playa del Carmen?
Hey!
Yeah.
That was so good, right? Like she practiced it.
But so we're on vacation, and so actually I want y'all, if you have a favorite product that you were like, no, I know I'm taking a carry-on, but I gotta bring this. Anybody have one?
Oh. Yes. Black girl, long hair marketplace. I don't know her, but I've been buying her stuff for a couple of years. It's natural shea butters, cocoa butter. It can be with certain oils are free, olive oil free. There's different fragrances. I like the whipped, the vanilla, and you can put that ish on everything. You can put it hair, skin. It's great after the bath. It's great after everything. Shea butter is a natural sun protectant, so.
Education.
So you called out the brand, but is there one specific product that you're like, this was definitely going to be in my travel bag?
Well, I bought 4 containers.
Oh, 4 containers. So half of her carry-on has these products, y'all.
She also sells the minis. So it's like, I brought the lavender because, the mosquitoes and bugs. You need little essential oils in your stuff to get the things off of you.
Amazing. And send me a picture of that because I need, yes, the bugs like it.
Who else?
I have something.
Oh, go ahead, Spash.
Perfect Tone is it's a facial, it's a facial...
Like serum?
Moisturizer. There's serum, there's face wash, there's a set.
Skincare line.
So it's a skincare line. There you go.
I got it.
Without word to say. Yeah. Skincare line.
Sisterhood.
So it's a skincare line. It is based out of the Bahamas. It's Black owned, and so it is very. It's not just like, oh, it's Black owned, so I'm gonna support, but it's effective. So I had really bad like breakouts, a lot of them, and I just used their products for a few months, and it really did help. So
Nice.
I don't leave without it. Yes, come on, Skin
Is there any
Skin popping.
I don't know the name of the product. But what I will say is I think I brought 6 different items that are Betterness Box items. I brought my sunglasses. Those were, I believe, Nectar.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Okay.
brought those. I also brought some eye cream.
Okay.
It was
I think that was
dark.
Laguna
Yeah.
Naturals.
It was the
Teal.
With the blue label, blue and silver.
I brought the sunscreen.
Melador.
Melodor. We adore Melodor, by the way, y'all.
Hey, girl.
I brought a like a Turkish blanket.
Yes.
Yeah, I brought that was great for the flight. And I brought something else, and I cannot remember it. It might have been the poppy.
Oh, the oil.
fragrance?
Yeah, the fragrance oil. The
It
roll
might have
on.
been that. If it wasn't, either way. Betterness Box stays with me wherever I go.
Oh, I have an OG one.
Oh, go ahead. Here
This is OG Betterness Box, but I start off with the sample. Now I get the large one. It's Uncle Funky's
Yes.
box.
Yes.
Like sometimes you just can't wash it like you want to wash it.
Wash it.
So if you just spray a little refresher, it's always a win.
Yeah, it smells great.
It does. It does. If y'all see us making fun of each other, just know that we love.
That's love.
It's all love.
They're trying to tell me.
Okay, let's get into the first question prompt situation so we can get into this conversation.
All right, guys. So sisterhood stands apart from other relationships, right? I think sisterhood is not just something that comes about. Friendship is not just something that comes about. I'm a firm believer that all relationships take some level of work, some level of intention from both sides, and a lot of communication, respect, and a lot of other things that we can get into. But I wanted to see if everybody here can kind of just share what are some of the key characteristics that you each think that are really, really vital for female relationships in particular to work, right? We hear there's a lot of women sometimes that are like, I don't have any female friends or whatever, right? Like in our community, we hear and see a lot of different things. And it's not really rare to see females getting along, but they do take work. So I just wanted to see if there's anybody who wants to kick us off. I'm not going to look at anybody particular. We got Dominique. So Dominique, visiting us from LA, is going to kick us off. Yes. Share characteristics that we think are extremely vital for female relationships to thrive.
For me, I know we do like a lot of constructive criticism when we think of like work and things, but I found that constructive criticism and friendships are important because a lot of times once I acknowledge or you let me know something that's bothering you, then it's like, oh, I'm enlightened and I can like adjust, rather than I think sometimes females in general, we just like, we don't like this about this person and they talk to everyone else. But if you actually come to me, I think that's true friendship because you're allowing me to acknowledge it and then maybe pivot and allow us to grow. And I feel like with this group here, like I could come to anyone if something was really bothering me and then we would grow from there. It's not like a cutoff thing. So I think that's important.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. Yeah.
I think also one of the things that we're blessed with this sisterhood of just knowing each other from the core, but having like our best interests at heart. So I feel like the accountability is really strengthened, between us. So like, with me and my sisters, I'm able to be authentically myself, but because you want the best for me, you will notice the things that I really need to work on. And that accountability is just more consistent. And I think that that's really beneficial to our sisterhood.
Yeah. Brittany, I think Brittany has.
So I would say grace. I think my life has gone through many different seasons, and sometimes those seasons result in me retreating. So just grace when I come out of that retreat. I think you all have offered me that. So I'm always very grateful because you just never know what life brings you and how you respond to it. So grace.
Oh, no, that's right.
I was going to say that.
There you go.
I was going to say that.
She basically said ditto.
The one.
Plenty of grace.
I say that.
She said ditto on the grace, y'all.
I second that.
And I want y'all, especially those of you who are mothers, to speak to that a little bit more because I think you know, we have our little special weekends sometimes from time to time. And all my specials are mothers with multiple children. And I am unmarried with none. And so I am like in their presence, I like soak up all the wisdom and all of the experience. And I hear y'all talk about, you know, just in your conversations, I feel like you give each other grace. But are there like tangible ways to do that, especially when you go through a transition like that, right? Whether it be marriage or having kids or any of that. You want to speak to this?
Sure.
Thanks.
I'm Tamara. I was going to say I think that it's consideration. So if someone has retreated and I haven't seen them or they're not as present as they have been in the past, I think it might be a cue for me to step in a little bit more. Hey, let me take a kid, or let me send you something. Can I buy? You know what I mean? It's just the consideration to know, like, I understand that you're going through a lot right now and you can't be as present as you normally are, but I still see you. I still love you. Here's something, and I'm here when you get back. You know, that kind of thing. So I think that's something that's tangible.
Yeah. I think I'll just add one thing to that. I think a lot of times people think that when somebody's retreating or things, they think they take it personal, right? And they make it about them when really, like, a lot of times it's really not about you. It's just about what they're going through.
Life.
And so what you said is, like, rather than reverting that, making it personal about you and being like, oh, she must have something wrong, like an issue with me right now. You actually take that as an opportunity to lean in and say, like, oh, there's something going on that's not about me, but it's about her. And that means I can actually probably assist and help her a little bit. So thank you for that.
Valentina. I just want to say, I think the most important thing is to meet people where they're at. Like, I think sometimes we put so much expectations on, well, this is what a friendship is supposed to be, and this is what a sisterhood is supposed to be. Just meet people where they are. Some people love to talk on the phone for 4 hours, and, you know, you just do that. And some people... You know,
by choice? Or...
other people are just like, I might talk to you once a month. Just meet people where they're at, give them grace, and just, you know, accept them for who they are. And so just embrace all the good things, all the bad things, and just, you know, live life.
For me, the Jasmine here.
It's a brand. Copyright that. That's
right. Okay. I would say thoughtful intention. We all live in, well, most of us live in different coasts and different states, cities, even countries at times. And I'm just being thoughtful. Like, I can remember just the other day, I had a little meltdown and I called one of my sisters, and I'm an educator. So for y'all watching, educators, you know. And I checked my email, almost sent it to trash, and it was a massage. And I was like, oh, isn't that sweet? Like, Tamara sent me a massage, and that's something that I just needed at the moment. And, you know, just that thoughtful intentionality goes a long, long way.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Definitely. Yeah.
I was thinking the same. I was like, wait, we're talking about that. No, first of all, I was like, I'm a side girl.
I'm like, I know. I was okay with anonymity.
You tried to get anonymity at first. She did. And then it was like, you gotta give me a flower. Right. And then my sister.
I'm definitely gonna check my spam. Okay. There'll be nothing in there.
I'm opening all emails to Tamara.
All emails.
Hilarious. My name is Simbita, but the one thing I wanted to share was that, like, what I love about this group is, like, everybody is so involved in their faith. And I think having, like, faith-based relationships is so essential to your own, like, personal growth. But, like, they can just meet you, like Valentina said, wherever you're at. Like, the highest high, they're there to celebrate with you. The lowest low, they're there to pray with you. They're there to give you, like, spiritual guidance. And, like, I think we just don't see enough of that. And I am so grateful for this sisterhood specifically. But just being surrounded by, like, so many amazing women of faith that can really carry me when I can't carry myself.
That's good. Mic drop. That's a word.
That
was good. That was a good one.
You looking for a third podcast? No,
I'm a belt. Right.
Kayla already got Busy Loving Jesus?
Yes.
She already got the podcast is already there.
Seriously.
It's sitting there. That's what it's doing. But
okay. Great segue, Tabitha. We appreciate you.
Yes.
For the next question, we're gonna get into some just like actual real life experiences, and you don't have to name people, but it can extend into any of your relationships, friendships. Can you share how the relationships that you have established over the course of your life, how they've actually like shaped and molded the journey that you're on personally, and how they've either detracted or added to where you think that you're actually going in life, your own personal journey.
That's a big question.
Well, fine. I'll start. So there is a particular woman she's not on the couch technically. She's sitting all the way to the left.
Is it
And
left?
To the left. Okay.
so
You all the way to the left?
she always acting surprised. Be quiet.
Sure. She don't even know what she's doing.
So yeah, I just feel like Valentina, and I'm crying only because one of my it was because I was laughing earlier. Sound it out. I can't. Anyways, but I might cry because Valentina, I love her. So she's my special big sister. We call her Spesh. I call her Spesh. I just remember feeling like she chose me, right, to kind of like walk me through life. I am, I'm a person who's very, very aloof, and I believe everything. And she comes from the East Coast where she's like not.
Chocolate City.
You know what I mean? Like it's a city, so she knows. She saw me. I just feel like she saw me, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Don't make us all cry. We're all gonna cry.
Don't do that.
Sure.
Try that too.
I'm sorry.
So
Tissue
when
on the
you
set.
see somebody who like, you're like, okay, I know this girl. She don't know no better, right? And so it's like, you know what I mean? And so she just took me along. So financially, she changed my whole mindset on money. Like legitimately changed my whole mindset to the point where now I have multiple homes and like I don't have a judgment on my credit report no more. You remember that?
Why you toxic back to that?
We have the meeting after that. Like, I get these conversations. We all try to get spending that money and putting it in her
It was like, Valentina needs to do a class. She needs a class, teacher class. But no, just in general. So her second child is my godson, right? Like we are family.
Yeah.
And I think it hasn't always been easy, right? We have to make sure we actually do the things. Like I'm like, oh Lord, I want to fly up there, but I gotta go to DC because I gotta see my special. It's been a year or it's been 6 months or whatever that looks like. And so making the like really, really hard choices as life transitions, it has been 20 years of this, right? Like we're sitting on the couch with people we have literally been in relationship with 20 years, 20 plus years. And so I just want to make sure
because we don't even look.
I know.
We don't look.
We practically met in the
I do,
y'all.
because but yeah, I think that's one of those things where I'm like, she has literally taken me on as a sister in a way that I always wanted a sister, right? And so I'm sure there's so many other examples and all of those from you guys, but for her specifically, I'm like, oh no, she is my sister. Like we are basically blood. I love you.
Okay, anybody? I love that.
So I think I've been blessed to like have really good friends, and like my best friend in particular, we've known each other for 10 years, and like I have evolved like a million times like since then, and we've had our own individual journeys. We had journeys together, and I'm so blessed to just like be with someone like Kayla said, who like really sees me, who like challenges me in all like places of life. This is like work, this is with other friendships, this is like romantic relationships. Like literally we were just talking about like the intimacy of just having like really good girlfriends. And like I was like, I wonder if guys like get the privilege of like this level of just like support and like love and growth. And like like we really just want to see the best of each other, and like we really try to push each other to get to that point. And I can't even tell you like where I would be without my best friend.
Aww. Shout out to Aisha. We love you, girl.
Are you being like no? Edit it. No, I'm just kidding.
Tambisa, thank you for sharing that story. I think one of the things that you said that kind of stood out to me was evolution of the person, and the requirement to meet people where they are. I think when you think about like when you start dating somebody, right, we think that we're either going to change them into who we want them to be, or they're going to change and we got to figure out if we still like that, right? So that's why relationships evolve, grow, people divorce, they do whatever, right? But as friendships, you know, you can't just ideally throw people away. And I think a lot of us just throw people away rather than being like, oh, this person is just evolved and I actually like your your evolution. I like where you've gone. I like that growth that you're showing. So thank you for sharing that, because when you were saying that like we've grown together, you're going to grow apart, but hopefully your relationship just evolves for where you guys are at that moment in time. As we look ahead to 2025, relationships, especially friendships, seem more important than ever, right? We have a fast-paced world. There's a lot of just like, if you watch the media news, there's a lot of divisive context that we are consuming on a daily basis. So how do you think that the role of friendships will evolve in the coming years? As the world evolves, like what is required of us individually and collectively to make sure that we don't kind of lose the humanity and the kind of good parts of relationships and friendships that are needed to evolve into the future?
That's good.
Short conversation.
Exactly.
I thought you said mature.
So I'm trying to be quiet the whole podcast because I don't. Who are you? Right? I'm Talia the Great, aka T-Bone. I'm a rapper. Hey. What's the question? I think what's needed for the future is acceptance. We're all different. Like none of us are the same. Of course, we share like commonalities, or you know, we have certain personalities that are the same, but we're all different. And I think for the future, acceptance is always going to be required. Grace and, you know, fun, relax. Right. Like people are gonna make mistakes. Like we're not gonna do everything perfect. Like what's wrong? I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. So I would just say acceptance. That's it. Spotify, delete.
Can they find you on Spotify?
No, actually you can't.
Okay.
You can't find it.
Go to her IG profile.
I'm Dominique. For me, I grew up with a lot of like girl family members. Like it's a lot of us. My sister, my cousins, and I think especially during COVID when we didn't get to see each other a lot, like it became the norm. But then we also experienced how that affected us. So I think for the future and growing, like the importance of in-person gatherings and getting back together, because it got so easy just to like maybe just send texts, but really I do agree like you should check in on people, but nothing substitutes being in person and really being around people. And I also think it helps you stay grounded as well when you're around those people who really know you, and then that continues to deepen your bond. So with the future, I think not negating like in-person interaction and keeping that relationship strong through that.
Amen.
Love it. Yeah, that's great.
Piggyback on that. So I was going to say moments like this. Like it's not just a getaway with your girlfriends, but a reset. It's just it's a beautiful moment. I'll say on the first day, I started to cry on the beach because it was just, I was so overwhelmed with gratitude and just taking these moments with you all, even on the smaller scale, like when we went to homecoming or just gathering our special weekends, just things like that to Dominique's point, reconnect, but in person. So 100%.
I feel like I have a caveat question. So like, especially towards what you were saying, Talia. T-Bone. Acceptance, right? In order to be accepted, you have to show up as yourself.
Yes.
Like your true authentic self. And I think a lot of friendships today are sort of based on not that, right? Especially young folks that are on social media. That sounds so old.
Yeah, we do. I was about to say.
Y'all being on social media. No. But, you know, they're comparing themselves to each other in what looks like friendship, right? Like, you may see two friends on an Insta story or a post, right? That's sponsored by whatever brand, but you don't actually know if those people are friends.
Sure.
And if they've been authentic with each other, right? Yeah. Sure. And so one of the most authentic friendships, I feel like, is Kelly and Talia.
I don't know her.
You know it's real. She'll never say you know it's real. But she'll know.
So I just want you guys to kind of talk about that, right? Like showing up authentically, especially as you guys have, you ladies have both evolved and changed, right? And I've been, you know, had to leave LA and all the things. So just talk about how you
tell me about how much
sustain.
I know.
Okay, so what was the question?
How you guys were able to show up authentically and accept each other, especially through the years. Tell everybody where y'all even met, right?
Yeah.
Like
in the track.
Okay.
Oh my God.
No, we met in high school. We met at cheerleaders. Shout out Hamilton Yankees. Varsity. He was my co-captain.
Okay.
Oh.
I was.
Okay.
They're
Co-captain.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
You were just a member of the team.
I made the team. So, yeah. I mean, Talia and I. Hi, I'm Kelly. Talia and I established our relationship in like 2000 and
In high school.
high school. Yeah, long time there. And I do say that, I mean, we evolved with each other. And I think the connection stayed really strong because we did keep that authentic space. And I think when we tried to stray away from that, that's why I was speaking about accountability earlier. We just didn't let each other do that. But what I appreciate about the evolution, even when I moved to Atlanta, that wasn't necessarily a part of the plan, but I moved to Atlanta for a job venture that I thought was going to be for a year to have some fun and come back, but it ended up being 12 years.
See ya.
Yeah, it was 12 years, but we maintained our communication like every week. And what I really appreciate is as I was having some struggles with work, as I was going, like things were great, but then sometimes, you know, as you go up in your career, it could be a lot of pressure built. And having a friendship where they know you to the core, it just really allowed me to talk about the imposter syndrome, right? And not be judged. And I think that it's amazing to think about, like, you think if you're successful, then you're always going to be in this confident space because you've been through it all and you can lead people to where you want to go, but you can still have success and then completely not recognize yourself. And, you know, it was just a blessing that though I couldn't recognize myself, like she always had that image of who I am and what God created me to be. And so it's just such a powerful connection that she can be that mirror for me, hold me accountable to the root of it, the spirituality, make sure that I'm staying connected with God and his presence. So, that's, I think, really what kept the glue was the foundation, the authenticity, and just keeping God at the root of it.
Yeah.
And still reminding me to have fun and loosen up. So.
You ain't got no problem doing that.
Ain't no problem doing that. And having the hard conversations, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, look, you hurt my feelings. That was wrong. I didn't like that. You know, we had one time. We had one.
Few times.
One time.
It mattered to me, didn't matter to her.
Maybe it was a couple for her.
Every time it was one.
It's interesting because that's you have the conversation. We're talking about it.
You know, sometimes. But having the hard conversations and hearing each other out. Like, everything is on the fence. Like, look, this is just how I feel. You know, I'm not offended by that. And I love her enough to be like, my bad. You know what I mean? And that takes humility
for sure.
and accountability. It's not always about you.
Right.
And so if you're able to have this many sisters like we've had, it's because we all take accountability and it's not always about us.
It's about the collective. And I think that's the problem in society. It's so individualistic. Like, no, sometimes it's collectivism, and maybe that's not a word.
Community.
It is now. But maybe it's about the community. Maybe it's about someone else. Maybe it's about the uplift. Serving others. And that's what's great about Dustin with Data Story Incorporated. So, it's about Kelly, though. She's always here for me. Like she said, we always remind each other, like, no, that's not you. I'm like, you're killer. When I answer the phone, I'm like, what's up, killer? You feel me? But even though she's a CEO, like, she's killer to me. And I want to remind her of that. You are my killer. You feel me? Like, you're funny, you're silly, you're this, you're all these things. Just reminding each other who we are amongst other sisters. Because we came amongst all these other people and we're best friends. So how can we still be best friends but still give everything to everybody else? And I think they did a great job of accepting us for who we are.
We did a great job.
They still Tamara's like, thank you.
So yeah, we'll wrap it up. You're welcome. Forever. But yeah, I love you all. I love Kelly.
I think it takes intentionality, right? Like, life is so busy. You're working. People got kids. They got partners. They're traveling the world. And I think it takes intentionality to create space and time to, like, work on the relationships that you want to grow.
Absolutely. Sure. I'm going to add to that and just... from the intentional perspective, it also takes self-awareness, right? Every relationship that you have starts with you. And if you look in the mirror and you don't even recognize yourself, you would hope that you have people around you that recognize that and can bring you back to yourself. If you don't have the mental capacity or whatever to kind of like have that level of self-awareness. So I think it starts with you having the intention of being like, I actually appreciate having people that I can call that can put me back where I need to be mentally or whatever, right? And I appreciate being able to do that for other people. So understanding that it's mutual. Carol and I lived together for 3 years, right? So we know each other in a whole different way.
That's a roommate.
Kayla and I, that's my eternal roommate, y'all. Kayla and I are obviously business partners. To this day, I just had a baby too. To this day. Y'all see us on camera, but we for real live, we go together. Like, for real talk. Like, my husband be like, real bad. Yeah. My husband be like, is that Kayla again? Like, always. Tell her to go home. But she's
already home.
She's home. So, you know what I mean? Like, just having people and understanding and appreciating that, like, we are taught in America to be these individualistic people. I don't need anybody. I can do it all on my own. Nobody on this couch, nobody in the world really got to who they are, where they are by themselves. And if you just have that in mind and you understand that, like, you can actually start to appreciate the value that having even one other person. They say that in life, if you have 5 people that are close to you, you are like extremely blessed. So even if there's like one person who is like,
I'm overwhelmed with blessings.
5 people is a lot, right? It's like maintaining 5 close personal relationships. That's why when somebody gets in a relationship where they get married or whatever, or they have a baby, like, somebody just lost the spot, y'all. Because they like, this baby now is in that 5 and somebody had to drop off. It doesn't mean that they don't love you. It doesn't mean, it's just their priorities and their capacity probably actually shifted. So that's the point.
That's good. Go ahead, Tim.
I just have a Jerry Springer final thought. Just crossed my mind.
Thank you.
So I feel like as Black women, we pour out a lot. We give and give because we are the foundation of America. So I feel like, so I feel like we often give and we pour out so much as mothers, as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as wives, and you name it. We're constantly pouring out, and I think the sisterhood is what fills our cup. It helps to fill us. And so there are things that I don't even have to ask for. We don't have to necessarily ask for it, but our sisters will refill us without us asking, hey, we're on E, I need X, Y, and Z. It's automatic. And so I think that's the beauty of looking and seeing all this melanin, all these beautiful Black women, knowing our struggles, our backgrounds, our ancestral backgrounds. There are things that are rooted in our DNA that we are hard workers. We will not give up, and we are so selfless. And we will always give to our families, to our friends, our businesses, everything. Even in the midst of our giving everything, I know my sisters back here are pouring into me as I'm pouring out. So I'm confident, like, I'm amazing. They're amazing. I know who I am. I know whose I am.
Humility.
You know, that's all I'm saying. So I just take it.
I'm amazing.
I'm amazing. We're all amazing. We're all great. We're all amazing. And it's a blessing to have this sisterhood and know that they always have my back. I don't have to ask for anything. God put them in. God put all of us in each other's lives intentionally. And this is how he loves us, by putting people intentionally in our lives. I'm here for it. So
I am too. This is a perfect segue. Amazing.
That's beautiful stuff.
So for the last question, I want each and every person, so take a second to think about it. Y'all know not everybody pledged Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated or don't have a sisterhood or don't have this. I travel all over the place, and when I go to these conferences and I see these women and I talk about how close I have relationships with y'all and just any other close relationships I have, they are befuddled. They are trying to figure out how to have friends. Right. Like they really don't get it.
That's real.
And so, you know, maybe you didn't pledge in college and then you just went off and then you move every 2 years because you're working, right? Like who knows why that is. But for the women out there who do not have this, what is one thing that they can be intentional about to try to reach out, to develop these type of relationships in general? I'm not going to give y'all any prompts. I want you to really think about what's one thing that you would do, right? Put yourself in their shoes. Are you going to go first because you don't want nobody to take it?
I want to go first. I was like, you're going to We're going to start with Carol.
It's a little bit of a different situation, right? Come from a big family, then met all you wonderful women, and then moved. So most of you guys were at that time based in San Diego. Like that was my whole home, San Diego. Then I moved to DC. I'm from DC, moved back to DC. By that time, I'm a mother, kids, all the other good stuff. I can't meet people, right? Had a hard time. I think the biggest thing that we need to do is put yourself out there. I started to pick up hobbies. I started to pick up different things, book clubs, mommy walks. You can go to the library and meet some girls. Black women are everywhere. So I just feel like putting yourself out there, not having any type of stipulations of what a friendship should be or what you want to come out and just put yourself out there. Go wine tasting by yourself. I go to the movies by myself. Oh, that is my thing. I go to the movies by myself. I'll just meet other people at the popcorn stand and just start talking. You know?
That's how you make your heart right.
That is how you I just think that you should just like do something different, put yourself out there, whether it's the art class, just anything. Just try something. But you're never going to meet anyone. You're never going to have any friends if you just stay in the house. So just try something. So that would be my whole thing. Yeah.
Okay. Carol's like, I'm out. That was mine.
No, she got it.
I suppose what I would say is to be committed or intentional. I think we look at commitment a lot of times in our romantic relationships, but we have that with our friendships, right? And I think as a person who's lived everywhere, who's gone like, oh, she moved? Yes. And wherever in the world I am, I have to be very intentional and very committed. And I have a special who is good at that. I have a special who's really good at that, and she inspired me to be very intentional. She will call me. It's been a month, like how some of us sit up here, how Tamara said, I haven't talked to him. Let me check in. She checks in, and she checks in not with just me, with everybody. And she's in Japan, she's in Korea, and she will find me and check in, and she'll come see me. And I think being committed to your friendships in that way is important. This is my special I'm talking about. Being in that way and intentional is really important. As somebody who's, like I said, as somebody who's not always around, you have to pick up the phone. You haven't heard it from somebody, pick up the phone. It works both ways. You have to send that postcard if that's what you do. Send that email. Give a massage. Whatever the case might be. You have to be intentional and being committed and not just putting yourself out there, but taking it a step further and maintaining. That's what it is. She's good at maintaining the relationship. Sometimes we can meet somebody and we're good. And we're like, oh, we're friends today in a month, and it fizzes out. It's important to maintain the relationship in order for it to be long lasting.
That's true. That's true.
So one thing that I would say, and this is from personal experience, I moved around to a different school every year since kindergarten. So literally I have a first grade school, a second grade school, a third grade school, 2 fifth grade schools, right? Like I moved around a lot until high school. And when I was in 8th grade getting ready to start high school, I remember getting on my knees and praying.
Oh, that was mine.
And I asked God to give me good friends. 'Cause I didn't know, I have no idea about anybody from my childhood. Like legit, I have no friends from 9 down, right? And so grade 9 down. And so for me, I really desired that. And he gave me really good friends. Like, y'all know Roy is basically an honorary Delta at this point. That's my best friend. I can't. And so, yeah, I would say get on your knees and truly pray your heart out to God and ask him for friendships, and ask him for friendships that reflect what you feel like you need in that season, right? Yeah, and I think I'm reaping the benefits from that, like, because I don't remember praying more about it. I just remember that one prayer, and I look at me today. Who's next? Oh, sick.
Oh,
We already had the Denisha. And so my experience, I'm gonna piggyback off you a little bit because mine was similar but different. Where I grew up, I had more male cousins, and I, was the only child for the first 7 years, almost 7 years of my life. And so I used to pray real hard for a sister. And so I was blessed with a sister that I'm very grateful for. We love you. Hi, Sharonda. And and in addition to my prayer, like that's also my dandelion, because I used to blow dandelions in the front yard, and that was my wish. I'm like, where's my sister? And then when she got here, Lord have mercy. That age gap, it took us a while. Like now we're adults, it's fun, right? But as kids, trying to be a teenager with a little sister, it wasn't that much fun. She was annoying. I love you though, but she was annoying. But what also became very special for me, I feel like I had an opportunity to have these waves. And so I do have childhood friends, 30 plus years. Shout out Sophia. Hey, Evelyn. Cultivate.com. I love it. But I think what I learned from those relationships is also making the time. My sister lives in another state now. Sophia lives in another state, right? And so some people are like, "Oh, you flying to New York for a baby shower?" Like, I'm gonna fly to host it. You flying to Houston for a baby shower? Yes, because we make the time and we're being intentional, and we show up. And I know it's going to be a great time. Also, I think that's important, is that we get together. Like some of us, we're in neighboring cities. Like we try to get together monthly. We're breaking bread together, and that's really important. And so, I just wanted to share that. I think it's making the time, and then being able to be your authentic self. We're all like career women, and so no matter what degrees and what you got behind your name, I show up as me. I show up as Denisha when I'm with my girls.
Dr. Clark.
Right. Period.
That's you.
I share the same sentiments as these two with prayer. Like I have a nomadic spirit, so I do move around a lot. And one of the things that I have to ask God for is to bless my circle wherever I am, because I may not be able to get to these ladies in person, and I need people around me wherever I am in the world that are just going to be there for me, be my circle, and be my sister, or if it's guys too, because I've been blessed to know some pretty cool guys too. But I think that pray for the people that you want in your life, and also like Valentina said, get out. You have to get out and go places in order to meet people, right? I mean, they could come knocking at your door, but definitely. So I would say prayer and putting yourself out there for sure.
I'm next, and it actually combines both of those. So I'm an only child, so I would pray for siblings and never got any. And then didn't move around a lot, but also moved around in weird periods in my life. So one was definitely prayer, and then also to piggyback on Valentina, I would say being immersed in your community and doing it different ways, right? So I think when I got to San Diego State, I think the one reason why I became a Delta is because I was immersed in just different things on campus. That's how I met Ty. He's not here, but and that's how she gave me my first Delta flight. I'll never forget. It was a African Student Union event, the midnight breakfast. So yeah, right.
Get on this.
But I'll never forget when she slipped me this flyer, and I think I was on the board then, or on the executive board then. So just definitely being immersed in your community. I wish I could do it more, but I hope that when I'm in a season that I have more time. So I have 2 little ones that I'm able to do that, just to meet more people in Houston, because
I love it.
Kelly. Yes. Kelly.
We're at Kafico?
Yeah, we're at Kafico. We're out on 7. Okay. So advice for the Black woman that's trying to establish a community. Being in Atlanta taught me that you need to be present. That I think that word is the advice that I want to give to myself again still, and to you, Black Queen, because we do a lot of things, but if we're not present, then we miss those opportunities to speak to who's to your left, to your right, to receive the blessing that God has right before you. And, being on, not social media for me, but more so on my Outlook calendar. Like I swipe through that like it is Instagram, because I want to be on top of what I'm doing for my corporate position. But that disconnects me from the world. So when I was at the gym, I think I was going to the gym for like 1 year and not being present to those I was working out with. And then when I stopped to just pause and have a conversation, say hi or hey girl, I was able to establish 5 gym sisters.
Aww.
And we celebrate each other, we hold each other accountable, we talk about our goals together, so that when we're working out, we remind each other, okay, so where are you at with that book? Or did you quit your job so you could start your business? I love that. And I was able to see one of my sisters become an esthetician. She has her own business. She quit AT&T.
What's the?
I will send that to you. Her name is Crystal.
Will be in the chat.
And she's amazing. And then one of my gyms, she was diagnosed with cancer. Wow. And she shared that with us. But because we were present with each other, we were there to have that support. So I was just able to establish some sisters there. And they came to visit me in LA. And I've been in LA for a year and a half now. And they already came to visit me just by being present. So that's the advice that I would give. Yeah.
Amazing.
Go ahead. Yeah, let's get to it.
Okay. I would say my advice would be prayer, but then discernment with prayer. I like to keep friends forever. Like if I went to preschool with you, like I like to still be, but I am learning and I'm still learning. Like I think we're talking a lot about like the positivity of friendship, but sometimes there's a negativity side of it as well. And everyone doesn't need it to be in your life for the long run. And they don't need to learn everything about your life. So I think it's the discernment of who can be in your close circle and who maybe needs to be more afar. And like someone told me like, placing people on different shelves, and at one time someone might be on that top shelf, but where I am in my life now and where you are, we don't mix the same way and not helping me go to my purpose. So it's like discerning where and who is right for you at that moment, for who God has, and not just who you want.
Top shelf relationship.
Love that. That's good. You might be on the second shelf.
The real sense.
Tamara. I'm going to actually almost say the opposite of what I've heard. I didn't know. I'm the oldest. So I've been taking care of people my entire life as I was a kid. And I didn't really want any additional siblings. I was okay. And I didn't know what I needed, right? So I think sometimes God is going to give you what you need, you know, because sometimes we don't know. And so I didn't know until I gained them. And I thought, oh my God, I was missing this all this time. I had no idea. So yeah, I would just say, you know, God knows what you need. Let him give you what you need, because you may not even know it. And in the midst of me currently looking for a community, I'm having a hard time finding community, what I'm looking for. And I was putting so much emphasis on, I was going everywhere. I was stressing myself out because I was so many play dates. I just felt like I was out here hooking for play dates. You know what I mean? And it just was so much. And so I just was, it was enough. You know, it was enough. It was enough. So, it was a lot. And I think that putting myself in every event that there was, everything, it was overwhelming and it was stressing me out. And so I had to just stop. So right now, you know, I know my God, he gave me all these amazing women. He's going to do it again. I'm not worried about it. So, you know, just let him give you what you need.
Oh, that's good. If he didn't want it, it's well.
Oh, I'm fine. Thank you. Oh my God. I'm gonna just say be yourself. Like if you're not sure, you're not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. Okay, so be with the people who's ready to sit down and drink tea with you. Okay. I'm gonna be myself. I'd rather be who I am around people who accept me than be fake around people. People who don't accept me for who I am. Sure. So I would sure.
So the word of advice is
be yourself. That's my one word. Amen.
Oh my God. Oh, shit. Okay, I'm gonna close this out. So actually, I'm not kidding. I really try to be the third podcast. Thanks for keeping me accountable.
Say what you need to say, because I can just be like, thank you.
Right.
You're hilarious.
You know, I think two things kind of like come to mind. I think one is like action, right? Like I think that sometimes we think about these things and we're like, oh, I feel like I should have called her. Or like maybe like I had a conversation with this random girl at the cafe. We were vibing. Maybe I should have been like, hey, do you want to like do you want to grab a drink? Or you want to go on a walk or whatever? Like, so I think action. And I think another part of that is like empathy. I think when I'm interacting with like new people, I think that as humans, we all just like want to be seen and we want like community and relationships. So that helps me like force myself to do the action, right? Because I'm like, I see someone sitting alone somewhere. They probably want to be like engaged with in like some type of way, right? So like I try to come from a place of empathy and just add action to that. So I am out here like, hey, you wanna go to a museum? you wanna grab, like I'm really not one of those people who are like no new friends. Like I love new friends. Like why not? Like I am here for all the new connections. So I would just encourage you to like think about like it's not awkward, it's not weird. How's this person gonna perceive me? Like I don't think all those things matter. So yeah.
I'm that action. Oh, it's just been amazing. I hope, I know we're all on camera, so you see us in our little secret laughter episodes. This has just been amazing. I'm not going to keep talking. No, I'm not about to close it out. I'm just trying not to cry.
You are going to close it out.
Okay, all right.
After I give my little speech.
Okay, then I will.
You're so good. You're just so good at it. All right, so I'm going to say, I heard a lot of things today, but one of the things that I heard was understanding like what you want out of life and what you want for yourself, right? Because if I don't know what I want, things could be coming to you. You don't know what you want it. You don't know that you need it. It's, as I think Kelly said, not being present and understanding like, what do I actually want from myself? You don't know that you want friends or that you didn't have a sister, or as Tamara said, I'm in all of these boats because I didn't have friends 9th grade and below because I had 5 elementary schools too. But I also was the oldest child and had hella siblings and little cousins. I love all y'all. But I was like, my little brother's 12 years younger than me. I raised a kid at 12 years. You know what I mean? Like, we good. We don't need any other whatever. So having that, you have to just understand like, oh, like this can help. It can be beneficial. I'm open. I'm present to whatever's coming my way. And then you have to kind of evaluate it from where you are. In the evaluation phase, I think it comes with having a little bit of understanding of your own capacity. Because relationships are not just give give. They're not just take. They should be mutual, right? And having the understanding of like, do I have what it takes to put into this relationship? I'm not just talking about friendships and sisterhood. I'm talking about relationships all around. Require you to have an understanding of your capacity. And then the third piece of what I wanted to say was just being able to communicate your capacity and what you want, right? So if I can't communicate what I'm experiencing, what I want, what I have the level of effort for, then how are you going to actually meet people that can meet you where you are? We have to kind of get to a point where we can have a shared understanding of what this friendship means. There are some friendships who are like, we go on a brunch every Sunday. You come into my house on Tuesday. We watch a movie, all the things. And then there are other friendships who don't have the capacity for that. They're not bringing your kids gifts and pies and all that shit. Like, we ain't got the time for that. But like, people need to communicate and understand, like, set realistic expectations of what I can give, what I can bring, and kind of what I expect as a friend. If I know this is the type of person that I am and I'm gonna meet you here, I tell people all the time, I'm going to meet you at 50%. If I'm putting more effort into whatever you got going on, whether it be this friendship, she won't do it. A project, a task, whatever, that's not my project. Sorry. My capacity for other people's shit is 50%. So you have to understand that and be able to communicate that. So understanding what you want, having a clear understanding of your capacity and what you're willing to give and what you're looking to get. Because all relationships are give and get in some capacity, and that percentage may change and fluctuate all throughout everything. And then being able to clearly communicate that so that everybody is clear of what we're doing here and we can have a shared vision of where we're going. That's all I'm going to say, y'all.
I mean, you did an amazing job. Absolutely. There's some preachers on this couch. I know that much. This has been amazing. I really can't. I don't even know what they're laughing at. I just love their laugh. Okay. So we're so thankful again for you all tuning into the Good, Better, Betterness podcast. So my prayer and hope for each of you who are sitting to my left and to my right is that you are centered. You take the time to be intentional. You take the time to be present. You are intentional about that season, right? Making sure you're centered in yourself. So absolutely, exactly.
We all did that actually right behind you.
I did.
Okay.
Let's all do it.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Centered. I love it. Yes. And make sure to check us out at betternessbox.com. Make sure to look at and watch all of the other episodes of the Good, Better, Betterness podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere that you listen to your everywhere. So yes, let's all say goodbye to our amazing viewers and thank y'all again so much.
Thank you.
To friendship. And that's a wrap! Hey sis, we thank you for honoring yourself by taking the time to listen to the Good, Better, Betterness podcast. Thank you for joining us on the journey to betterness.